Welcome back from the break. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on a brand new episode of NewsX India A-List in our endeavour to bring forth the stories of some of India's finest and brightest. Today, we put together yet another unmissable telecast with India's who's who. Our first guest today is actor Aahana Kumra. Having dabbled in all mediums from television to cinema, she's worked across genres and delivered blockbusters in regional as well as national cinema. She recently has turned host for a new television show. Listen in to this conversation.
A versatile actor and host of The Inventor Challenge.
That we sit and really discuss how people have pitched their ideas and how entrepreneurs are going about with their.
She's best known for her role in Lipstick Under My Burqa.
Really abilities to scientifically think how they can make their lives easier on a day-to-day basis.
NewsX proudly recognizes Aahana Kumra for excellence in entertainment.
Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview as part of our NewsX A-List series. We're in conversation today with well-known actor Aahana Kumra, who we are not firstly going to speak with as an actor though today because she is a host as well. So firstly, welcome to Aahana, this special episode, and welcome back to NewsX.
Thank you so much, Uday. Always such a joy to see you.
As I said, it's, a conversation today with you in a different avatar of yours, a different role of yours, as host for Colors Infinity new project, The Inventor Challenge. So tell us something about this project, the show, how the response has been, because the episodes have already gone on air.
Yes. Thank you so much for this really warm welcome as a host. I'm so glad that, I've got to play a new avatar altogether. In this year, because I had never imagined myself to really step foot into non-fiction in a way like this, because every time an actor does non-fiction, they always imagine themselves to be the guests on the show, so whether it's a dance show or any sort of a reality show, we're expected to either be a participant in the show. So I think it was very interesting that Viacom, the team reached out to me completely in the other direction. And I actually asked them, I said, why did you guys think of me? Because it really came out of nowhere. And so Ramya, who's from Colors Infinity, I was talking to her and she was like, you know what, we just imagined you doing this because I don't know, it just kind of, your vibe was similar to, what we had imagined our host to be. So I said, really, that's, I'm not shocked, first of all, because I like the idea that I wanted to host at some point of time. Yeah. But of course, what you want to host, really sets the tone for you. And I told her, I'm a huge fan of MasterChef Australia. I'm a huge fan of this very incredible show, which is on Netflix called I Eat Cake. And I watch that with my nephew all the time. We watch reruns because we love watching, anything to do with, confectionery or with food. So I think everybody in my house is a huge foodie. So every time, you come to my house, there's some food channel going on, some food show going on, something like that. And, Hali mein, the, Shark Tank has become a huge thing in my house again because everybody's watching it because, that we sit and really discuss how people have pitched their ideas and how, entrepreneurs are going about with their, with their ideas and what the judges say. So it's a huge hit again in my house. So when they called me for this, I was like, oh my God, this is something I would love to do because, this has something to do with inventions. This is something to do with, people's, really abilities to scientifically think how they can make their lives easier on a day-to-day basis. Because honestly, invention only comes out of necessity. And, we'll invent something if we really need that thing in our day-to-day lives, or we feel like there's a dearth of something in that, area of our work or, whatever. So I thought it was absolutely incredible that they thought of me. But again, as I said, I'd never hosted before. I'd just done kabaddi before this. And sports hosting is very different from what reality, fiction television hosting is. No doubt. So I got to set and we really didn't have time, we spoke and we were on the floor, shooting in 1 week. And, I started shooting and I kid you not, there, the pictures blew my mind. When I used to, because, it was all happening in real time. So it wasn't a very scripted show. The only scripting that happened, I think, during the show was when I had to explain to the audiences what the format of the show was.
Okay.
And I was meeting the panelists for the first time. I was meeting both the Dhruvs, who you happen to mention that you know them.
Yes.
CEOs of Arata. Then Sarovar Zaidi, who's another very interesting, human being, I'd call her, because she's a design teacher. She deals with students on a day-to-day basis. She travels all across India, meets people for design. So I think it's a very, very interesting niche sort of a job she does. And of course, Malini, who we interact with like a day-to-day basis, when we're like doing our promotions and stuff. But I didn't know Malini that well. I thought like it was a great mix, a very eclectic mix of people that they had on panel. And and when they I was told that there'll be a viewing room, then there'll be like a room where the panel is going to be sitting and talking to our inventors. So we were told, first of all, don't call them participants, they are going to be called inventors. Secondly, our panel is never going to be called judges, they're always going to be addressed as panel. Because no invention, according to us, is good or bad. It's basically what the utility of a certain invention at that time is far more prioritized compared to the other one.
Right.
Or, so I think that was the concept of like bringing these inventors into, that room.
True.
And when they started pitching their ideas, I had to literally listen to each and every pitch, like very carefully, because they just like, they would not script the rest of it when I had to come and take them back, I would have, and they let me ask questions, which I think was incredible. So I was just like, wow, like I'm allowed to ask a question. I'm allowed to like, be there in the viewing room. And if I have a question that the panel hasn't asked, I can ask that question.
So very, very clearly, very different, as you're saying. And this obviously distinguished it and will distinguish it from other reality shows and other fiction shows in the same space as well. But were you someone, who keeps abreast of startups and, what's happening in the entrepreneurial space? Or was it just now after you signed on board the show?
No, of course. I think this inspired me a lot, but I've been inspired for a while. My and I, we've been wanting to work on something together, something related to health and fitness, because both of us are into, that space, and we love that. And, that's something that nobody's ever pushed us into doing that. That's something that we both primarily enjoy doing as siblings. When we do our trips, together, we're always either running together or we're like, trekking together. So always doing something which is more adventurous, so we're always something which is more adventure based as opposed to. They keep telling us, they're like, oh, you know what, we teach you Kumra sisters how to chill, how to wake up at 9. They're like, no, you all can't teach us how to wake up at 9, so you wake up at 6. So even on a holiday we're like that. So I think like this also, like, but I think what really inspired me in the show was the the 8-year-olds, the 15-year-olds, the 12-year-olds who are coming and pitching their ideas and actually making them like the prototypes were ready, because they went into 30 days of like into the lab space where they were actually sitting and making the prototypes, and then they won 10 lakh rupees on our show. And I was like, what was I doing when I was 8? And, the most incredible story, I think, for me has been like actually a couple of them, and I can't say one, but, of course, Manishka, who is 8, and she won, she's really a child prodigy. But apart from that, this girl called Shaida Bano, who's a 15-year-old child, she's from Baramulla. And she came. She's like in Kashmir now. Like you think about like, you're in a very remote place of this country where, internet is not accessible, but ideation is. And
fantastic.
Sitting and thinking of an idea and actually making that prototype wherever you may be. So I think it was incredible that I got to meet such intelligence.
Also, I have to ask you though about who's a favorite host of yours. Well, let's hope you will become a favorite host of some of our viewers as well after this show. But who has, been a favorite host of yours who you enjoy watching?
In India, well, I don't know. I mean, I love quite a lot, but I like enjoying Thick in Hell. I can't. But I mean, a couple of them. I really like. Actually, I enjoy watching Karan a lot. I think he's very.
Okay.
I mean, I like watching his shows. I think he's very watchable.
Yeah.
And from my friends who have like written shows for him, they've his lines or whether he knows.
Yeah.
And I think that's an incredible. Apart from that, of course, my friend Aahana Kumra, if I don't take his name, he's gonna kill me.
Okay.
But Mantra, these are the guys like Rajesh Hirji.
Okay. All right. All the very best, Aahana Kumra. Thank you so much for joining us. As I said, predominantly as a host today, and not, of course, as the very best.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.